what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Young Black Geek channel, and today we're talking about My Hero Academia. This was a pretty good chapter. Basically, this chapter is the closing. I actually have not read or reviewed in a couple weeks at least. Or just that a couple weeks. But this chapter revolved around Yaoyorozu. I like just calling her Momo. And Todoroki, or Shoto. And basically, it's the second half of Shoto learning to trust others and learn that other people can have solid strategies, and he did that well. We saw him opening up to that in the chapter prior to this, and I think the biggest thing that stood out to me in this entire chapter is the fact that Eraserhead is a good enough teacher to understand when to be tough on his students or when to be soft on his students. I think that speaks a lot for him as a mentor, as a sensei. And also, I think that at the end of this chapter, when we see All Might explain to he was fighting Deku and Bakugo, I believe it's been that long, but Bakugo and Deku are together, and he's explained to him that the prereq for y'all to even do this was to cooperate. Like, that was a major part of this exam, was for you two to understand that you two can't coexist without it being you damn Deku and Kachin, I just want to be like you, and all of that stuff. All of that stuff. So, I was a big fan of this. I think that Mineta, we get to see a little bit of Mineta and Sero are going up against Midnight for their exam. We get to see Koda and Earphone Jack. Her name starts with a K, I think. What's her name? I gotta get back in back into the swing of My Hero and Promise Neverland and Black Clover. I gotta get back into all of that. I gotta get back into streaming, but just to see that Earphone Jack has declared President Mike on the top of the mountain. That was a cool passing tidbit of information. And I feel like with auditory, with like sound waved heroes with volume, like there's a specific word that's just escaping me, but I feel like heroes like that, or quirks that are based around sound, President Mike's ability to amplify his voice does separate him for sure. And I think that I keep wanting to say like Kiro. I don't know why. Actually, guys, I'm finna see if I can find her name. I gotta know. Jiro. I was saying Kiro. Jiro. I think that Jiro has like a lot of potential with her quirk, with the ability to like plug in and amplify sounds through things and use like the points as weapons from her earlobes. All of that. I think all of that creates like this really dope ability that she has, but at the same time, for her to recognize what President Mike is on the top of this mountain, dope. And Koda as well, Annie voice is another sound themed, audio themed. Gosh, I'm struggling with this one. Is another like sound themed hero, and he's pretty quiet from what we've gathered so far. I'm sure that Horikoshi has it in mind to get him some shine eventually. Everyone has gotten shine so far, so his moment's coming. But I thought that this was a dope chapter. Now we can dive a little bit deeper into it. Momo's strategy basically is she can contract, or she can make this materials. They're not quite ropes, but they're like these strips of cloth that Eraserhead uses. That they're like binding. They're kind of like binding fabric. He uses that as a weapon, and she plans to block his view of them, create her own version that retains its original shape when heated, out of this fancy cloth that she understands the chemical principle of, create it, catapult it at him once Shoto's blocked them off with the ice wall attack. catapulted at him, and he let Shoto use his fire attack to heat it, contract around him, and that's how they plan to capture Eraserhead. Now that seems kind of simple, but at the same time, if you think about Eraserhead's capabilities, where if you're in his line of sight, you can't do anything, and he also wears those goggles that we don't know who he's looking at any point in time. So she's like, look, flip what we were doing. You just keep trying to use ice. I know you're more adept at ice, and when you get the chance, create the ice wall that's going to shut off all of, because he has to blink. Like, he's still human. I mean, I don't think there's a different word for people with quirks. They're still human. So he's still human. He has to blink, and when he blinks, I want you to create the ice wall. At that very moment where we have some cover, I'm going to create this thing. And I love how, like, her power makes people a little bit uncomfortable, where she's creating the cloth, and Shoto turns around to be like, hey, isn't that? And when he sees that it's coming out of her chest, he's like, oh. And the whip, like them turning around whip sound, it's just, it was humor. It was well-timed humor. I did laugh. I thought that was a pretty dope touch to still show that they're teenagers, and like, oh man, it's kind of, you know, like just that edge of uncomfort or that edge of awkwardness for them, to show that they are teenagers. That's a big thing for me in this series, that these are school kids. These are middle school kids, or 14, 15. They're like sophomores in high school, maybe even freshmen in high school. So they're definitely awkward. They definitely have moments where they're like the first year students. They're like, whoa, I'm just now interacting with girls that I'm attracted to, or that's Deku. Or Minette is like, bro, girls have boobs now. That's what's up. Like, you know, they all have these things that show that they're still kids. So I love to see Shoto have the little turn where he kind of got embarrassed, and Momo's just using her quirk. She's just like, okay, the plan's in action, and she confronts Eraserhead once the plan works, because she realized that she messed up, because she went to pull the catapult. She had also created a mannequin dummy, so that when they ran out in sheets, Eraserhead would think like, oh, I can't see them, so they can still use their quirks, and that was just a decoy. He attacks the mannequin, bam, pulls the catapult, and I have to assume that Shoto also had a catapult, because what if that's the one Eraserhead would have attacked first? Like, maybe Momo would have came out of hers and pulled it. I don't know. But he attacks the catapult with mannequin on top that Momo's carrying, and she goes to pull the catapult once he's attacked it, and freezes, misses the catapult, like scrambles to pull it again, and notices that Eraserhead didn't stop what they were doing, or counter or anything. He just kind of let it happen from there on. And it's Recovery Girl. Recovery Girl's who acknowledges, like, oh, what a softy. Like, what he didn't have to let them win, but I thought that was dope. I thought all of that was dope. All in all, this is a 3 fire emoji chapter. I'm happy to be getting back into reviewing this week, and should have reviews of this week, reviews for next week and the following week. Like, that's the goal, is to get back to reviewing. I have been pretty good in the last 2 weeks. It's just been crazy with church softball has started, so that throws off 2 of my recording nights, and it also pushes like the other stuff I do on recording nights onto other nights. So it's adjustment. But on that, plus a new job that I'm working on having, you guys will get more details on all of that. Actually, we'll work on all of that later. But happy to be back recording 3 fire emoji chapter again. Like this video if you liked it. It goes a long way. Or thumbs down it if you don't. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you'll know when more My Hero Academia content comes out, as well as go check out the Promised Neverland content, the Black Clover reviews. Like, go check that out so you'll make sure you're alerted when those videos come out as well. In the comment section below, let me know how you feel about them announcing who's winning and who's losing, or who passes and who fails these tests, and what you think that can do to the psyche of students, because it's not really talked about much in this chapter, but Mineta kind of has a moment of like, dang, I really gotta accomplish this now. It kind of like compares them to their peers more than they already are doing. Like, they're already doing that, but to hear like who's succeeding and who's failing, and they're like, man, like, if he did this, I know I can do it. Or, man, if he didn't do this, how am I going to do this? You know, it creates that kind of mindset. And I have mixed feelings on it, but I do think that it can be a positive for the right characters. So let me know your feelings on that in the comment section below. Have a great rest of your day, guys. Peace.